what's up everybody? My name is Scott Waters and welcome to Life to Metal. Going to be doing a collection video today. This is going to be Thin Lizzy 7-inch singles only. I was going to do Thin Lizzy, Philip Lynott, and Gary Moore. But when I pulled my Thin Lizzy singles, I realized I had a lot more than I thought I did. So I pulled the Gary Moore singles out, and I'll have to do a separate video for Gary Moore because I have almost as many Gary Moore singles as I have Thin Lizzy singles. So I do have some Philip Lynott in here and one other one that I'm going to show, but mostly this is just Thin Lizzy. Going to get right into it. Start off with the band's first single before they had released an album from 1970. This is The Farmer, and 1971 actually I think it is. Farmer and I Need You. This is a bootleg version. I've never seen an original pressing. I don't own an original pressing. Still, this is a very cool pressing of it. I like the picture sleeve. It is on a red vinyl, and purchased this thing several years ago. It's got a copyright date of 1990 on there, but it was not released in 1990. It was probably released maybe 5-6 years ago, if that. Regardless, still glad to have it, bootleg or not. One of these days I'll hopefully get an official pressing. Next up would have been a New Day single, and I don't have that one either, so I wish I did. There have been bootlegs of that one as well, which I wouldn't not been able to grab, but that single sells for almost $150, sometimes $200, and I just don't have that much money to spend on the single. Third single was Whiskey in a Jar, Black Boys in the Corner. This is a Swedish pressing. I just showed this in a video not too long ago because a very nice person sent it to me. It does say pressed in the UK. It was printed in the UK and pressed in the UK, but it is the Swedish version of this single. As you can see by the text on the back, it is not in English. Regardless, Whiskey in the Jar, Black Boys in the Corner, really glad to have it. Very cool single. Next up, which is the next single, this is, I don't have a picture sleeve, I don't even know if there is a picture sleeve, but I don't have one. But this is an original pressing on Decca of The Rocker. And Here I Go Again. Again, this is when all these singles that you're seeing here, when Thin Lizzy were a power trio, mixing the influences of Jimi Hendrix Experience and Cream and whatnot into their traditional Irish roots. So that's what you're getting here with this stuff. Very early Thin Lizzy was not the twin guitar attack 70s heavy metal that they became. This was very different style in the early 70s. So although The Rocker is actually not that far off, The Rocker was definitely an indication of what was to come from them. So again, this is another one from that era. This is from the Vagabonds of the Western World. This is Little Darlin' and Buffalo Girl. This is on the Nova label. 1973, I believe this was. Maybe 74, somewhere in that area. But yeah, still the power trio. This was actually released several years after they were no longer a power trio, but I keep it with those because it's that era of the band. This is side one. It's an EP. So you got Things That You're Working On Down at the Farm, and The Rocker, and Little Darling all on here. So 3 songs on this single. It is on Decca Records. It's 1978 when this was released. All these songs are from the early years of Thin Lizzy, though. Next up, this is when we get into the power trio. This is when we get Scott Gorham into the band and Brian Robertson into the band, and we have the twin guitar attack. So now, I don't have every single Thin Lizzy release, not even close, so I'm not going to tell you which ones are missing. I'm just going to show you what I have, because there's tons of Thin Lizzy singles and different covers from different countries and whatnot. But this is Running Back and Jailbreak, so it would have been, what, 1976 for that one. This is I think this is a German pressing or a UK pressing, I don't know. It's a European pressing. I don't see where it's, oh, England. So it's UK pressings. Here's the back cover. Surprisingly, I don't have a single for The Boys Are Back in Town, which is their most popular song and had millions of singles sold, but I don't have that one, so weird. Skip all the way up to the next record, Johnny the Fox. This is Don't Believe a Word, backed with Don't Believe a Word, backed with Old Flame on the Vertigo label. I believe this is a German pressing. Could be wrong on that though. I didn't look these things up before I started this video. Yeah, made in Germany. I should do that, you know. I should like actually prepare, but Never said I was a professional. I'm just winging it. All right, so we got Rosalie, Cowboy Song, and Me and the Boys. Me and the Boys is a non-album track. Brian Robertson has left the band now, and we have Gary Moore back in the band. Gary, who actually played with the band early on as well when they were a power trio, is back here playing on the Black Rose record, which this album is from. So you've got Waiting for an Alibi with Love. This is Hollywood, Down on Your Luck, backed with, actually this is a promo single with the same song on both sides. So you got the stereo version and the mono version. And this is a UK, we'll try it one more time. This is a US pressing, not a picture sleeve, obviously. Sarah, backed with Got to Give It Up. This is a UK pressing. I'm wondering if it's like a jukebox single or something like that, because it's got this little number 190 on it with the sticker on it, which I kind of like. I think it's kind of cool, makes it unique. So anyhow, Sarah. Again, Gary Moore, Do Anything You Want. Backed with Just the Two of Us. Moving on to the next album, Gary Moore, Out. And I can't remember his name. Snowy White In, guitar player, who I guess had formerly been playing with Pink Floyd, at least live. But this is a, I believe this is a 2 LP set. I'll have to look real quick. But this is Killers on the Loose. This is actually one of the first singles that I purchased back when I was buying singles up. But yeah, 2 albums. So you've got Don't Play Around, backed with Killer on the Loose. And of course it doesn't want to go back inside of it again. We have Chinatown Live and Got to Give It Up Live. So cool little double single that, like I said, doesn't want to go back into the sleeve for whatever reason. And I'm dropping things. Things aren't working out down on the farm. Dropping crap. Can't get it back in the sleeve. Alright. Moving on. I gotta keep this in order, so it's just too much hassle not to. So I'm gonna you just have to wait a second here. I put this back in this silly sleeve. Alright. So we got the Chinatown single. And if you see, it's got a foil stamped cover. And this is backed with Sugar Blues, recorded live at Cork City Hall. Cork City is Rory Gallagher's hometown. So there's the back cover with some great live photos of the band. Scott Gorham was always just such a badass. When I was a kid, I bought Live, it was 1978, I think it was. I bought Live and Dangerous, and I loved the record. And I mean, I was literally a kid. And I thought Scott Gorham just was the coolest cat in the world. I showed a picture of Scott Gorham to my mom, and I'm like, man, I want hair just like that. And she goes, when you move out of my home, you can have hair just like that. Well, guess what? When I moved out of her house, I had hair just like that. I grew my hair long. Anyhow, next up, this is Trouble Boys, which is a non-album single, non-album track single, backed with Memory Pain, which is another song that is a non-album track. So that's a classic song. A lot of people don't know, neither one of these that most people know about. And again, doesn't want to go back into the sleeve. Next one is a little EP. This is a Killers Live. Again, with Snowy White on guitar over here. But you've got Are You Ready, Dear Miss Lonely Hearts, and Bad Reputation Live with a drum solo, I believe. I'm pretty sure. I haven't heard the single in a while, but Bad Reputation is a great song. I mean, that was just that vicious double bass attack. Brian Downey, one of the greatest drummers ever, one of the most underrated drummers ever. But yeah, he was just playing that, steady double bass, that became like a staple in thrash metal. Thin Lizzy was doing that long before there was thrash metal. Matter of fact, they were doing the twin guitar attack thing that, bands like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest adopted before a lot of those bands were doing that too. So, all right, another one for Hollywood. This is And the Pressure Will Blow. This is obviously a picture single, picture disc. This next one is interesting. It is Thin Lizzy, but it's the Greedies. So what the Greedies was is it's Thin Lizzy and some of the guys from the Sex Pistols together, and they kind of do this hard rock punk Christmas single, which is what this is. So you've got a Merry Jingle and then a Merry Jangle, with Steve Jones, Brian Downey, Phil Lynott, Paul Cook, who else? Oh, Scott Gorham. So there you go, the Greedies. So that's the name of the band, which is comprised of Thin Lizzy and a few of the Sex Pistols guys. This one's awesome. This is a great album. This was the last studio album that the band recorded, but this is the Cold Sweat single. This is a 2 LP version. So you've got Cold Sweat, Bad Habits, Angel of Death Live, and Don't Believe a Word Live. And Angel of Death is another great Thin Lizzy song, really heavy. Although, consequently, despite being such a heavy song, just a riff-heavy song, instead of having a guitar solo, it actually has a synth solo or a keyboard solo. So, and here's another different version of it. This is the Cold Sweat, but this is a promo single, back with Bad Habits. But again, still picture sleeve. This is The Sun Goes Down, back with Baby Please Don't Go, live. And then this is, after Phil Lynott had passed away, they put out that Best Of collection, and they finished a song called Dedication, which wasn't actually a Thin Lizzy song. It was a Philip Lynott cut, but the guys in Thin Lizzy went back and finished the song, and it was released as part of that Best Of collection. And there was some promotional singles released for that, which is what this one is. Dedication, back with Cold Sweat. This is actually the single from the Still Dangerous collection, live at the Tower Theater, 1977. And this one's going to be a little hard to see because it's black on black. None more black. All right, now we're getting into the Philip Lynott stuff, and one other one which I thought I'd show just because it's pretty cool. It's so Brian Robertson went after he left. He formed this band with Jimmy Bain. Jimmy Bain, who had formerly played in Rainbow with Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, and then later on went on to do a bunch of stuff with Philip Lynott on his solo stuff. He ended up recording a couple albums called Wild Horses, and this is a single from Wild Horses, and the autograph is Jimmy Bain. I actually got a hold of him before he passed away, obviously, and online, and purchased this single from him, and he autographed it for me, which was very cool. A little bit of a smear on it, but I would assume that would be he who smeared it. But in any case, very glad to have this. He passed away only a few months after I purchased this, so maybe it was half a year or more, but very cool. Wild Horses. This is Criminal Tendencies, backed with The Rapist. So now we're getting into the Philip Lynott solo stuff, which is mostly very different. This is where he was experimenting with his sound. Philip Lynott was not doing the same thing with his solo as he was with Thin Lizzy, but this is Solo in Soho, backed with what is it backed with? Dear Miss Lonely Hearts. So there's that one. I believe this is a UK single. King's Call, backed with I believe it's Ode to Black Man, but here's the cover. King's Call, picture sleeve on the Vertigo label. Yep, back with the Ode to a Black Man, and I'm pretty sure this is a UK pressing as well on the Vertigo label. And another version. This is a I don't know. This is a weird one. Doesn't have a cover. Just came in a paper sleeve, but you can see it's got the large photo of Phil on the center label, the Vertigo label. So that would have all been what, 80? See, the first single would have been 1980. This would have probably been around 82. So we're probably pushing 83, 82, 83 in this area as well. This is Old Town, back with Beat of the Drum. This is 82. I can actually see the one on this one. This is the Together single, backed with Somebody Else's Dream. Again, on the Vertigo label. This one's very unusual. This is kind of synth pop stuff, very different for Phil. But this is Yellow Pearl, the theme from Top of the Pops. Backed with Girls. Again, this is a UK pressing. And I believe this is the last single he did as a solo artist. He did a bunch of singles and has his picture on several Gary Moore singles, which I'll show when I do the Gary Moore stuff. But this is 19, which would have been 1985. Backed with, see, there's might be the same song on both sides, 2 different versions. Yeah, there's 2 versions up here. So it's 19. There's 19 and then 19 the club mix. Like I said, this is not, you know, 70s style heavy metal. This is not the hard rock stuff that Thin Lizzy was known for. This was Phil experimenting and doing all kinds of different sounds. So anyhow, that is my Thin Lizzy 7-inch collection. Thin Lizzy Phil Lynott 7-inch collection. Somebody asked me to show those a long time ago, and I finally found the time to pull them out and do so. So appreciate you all watching. I think my next video is going to be my top 25 favorite pop metal records or hair metal records or whatever we're going to call it. That's it. Appreciate you all watching. God bless. Stay strong.